You're listening to the Morning Punch-In Show with RB and Jae, live and direct from more cities than an Instagram model's bio. Get ready for some boxing talk on the clock. Let's face it, you're not working and somebody's got to pay for the Wi-Fi.
Good morning, everybody. It is RB and Jae. This is the Morning Punch-In Show, the most unpredictable, unscripted, but always real morning boxing talk show in the game. Today is Monday, May 17th. Our special guest on the hotline bling today is Bomac McIntyre. He is Terence Crawford's trainer. Jake Donavon from FightNights.com will also join us and to give us Jake's take a little later. But first, let me properly introduce my PIC, my partner in crime, the creator and founder of BadCulture.net, contributor to BlackSportsOnline.com, Jay LaBeouf. What's good, Jay?
What's good, RB, and good morning, everybody from Los Angeles, California. Thank you, everyone, for all your beautiful birthday wishes and Mother's Day wishes. And, you know, nobody trolled me yesterday, so, hey, it was a good day in Los Angeles yesterday. The hot question of the day is, we don't really have a hot question of the day, but I'll just make one up on the fly. The hot question of the day is, what were you doing yesterday for your mama? We want to hear from some fighters, for some trainers. What did you do for your mama yesterday? If we have a little time, we'll take some call or hit us on the hashtag TMPS and we'll read some responses on the air. But good to be back on a Monday. A little bit too turned up on a Sunday. That's why there's no hot question. But, hey, we're here to do the show today, so I'm glad for that.
Well, you know what, talk about Mother's Day and fighters. You know, I had to give a special shout-out yesterday to all the boxing moms, the fighters' moms, the boxing moms that listen to our show, that support us, you know, all their struggles and sacrifices and heartaches and, you know, the triumphs that they go through with their sons and, you know, all in the name of the hurt business and what they endure. So special shout-out and happy Mother's Day to the fourth men in the corner, the boxing moms. You know, y'all raised some warriors.
That's a hard job. You know, being a mother alone is a tough job, but when your son goes into that line of work, you have to turn that mom switch off because we never want to see our children get hurt. But if that's the path they've chosen, mom got to ride with them. So salute to the moms.
Indeed. So listen, the lines are going to be open today, 718-508-9852. We're going to play some Know It or Blow It boxing trivia. Today's question is, I'm going to admit, it's mediocre. It's not hard. It's not easy. We'll give you 10 seconds on the clock, and if you win a free gift from our sponsor at 4ama.com.
Excellent. Beautiful stuff over there. If you're one of those people who procrastinated and didn't get something from mom for Mother's Day and you're fronting, head on over to 4ama.com. They still got you. You can get something from mom for there.
Word up. So, Jay, let's get into, there wasn't a lot of boxing this past weekend, but there were some fights. If you can let us know some of the results from this past weekend.
Absolutely. So happening this weekend, most of the action took place in England, different city in Leeds and Birmingham. Had a few fights going on over there this weekend. Cal Yaffe retained the WBA super flyweight title by outpointing Suguru Maranaka. So he continues to be the super flyweight champion. Things could be heating up in that division, as we know. Chocolatito lost the title, but he's always looking for a competitive fight. That could be a fight that we could see in the future since he's moved up to super flyweight. Also, Nicola Adams picked up her second professional win by defeating Marion Salazar by third-round stoppage. And I believe they fought in 3-minute rounds over there as well. Ironically, the 3-minute round topic has been a hot topic lately for women's boxing, with Marlene Esparza fighting in 3-minute rounds. And in case you didn't know, Marlene Esparza and Nicola Adams are girlfriends. So they're looking to trend set on both sides of the globe.
Yeah, you know, talking about hot topic and women's boxing, something is happening. Me and Jay have been saying this for months. Every week on our show, don't we feel like we're talking about Clarissa Shields or Esparza or the girl over there, Taylor, and now Nicola, Heather Hardy? I mean, every week I feel like we're talking about a women's fight. We never used to talk about women's fight on this show. So there's something brewing there, Jay. I mean, we keep saying it. I mean, Heather Hardy's fighting, I think, this week in New York. They put Melina Canelo Golovkin undercard already. She's already scheduled to be on that card. There's something going on here. Cornejo is all over the place, right?
That's right. So we are seeing a revolution. You know, we know there are you out there who prefer not to see women's boxing, but you know what? There's a lot more people who do. So kudos to women's boxers for making their way in a sport that is generally not as giving to them as it is their male counterparts. So it's good to see some women giving their shine who enjoy professional boxing. If we could go right into In Case You Missed It. There's a lot of In Case You Missed It. There weren't a lot of fights happening this weekend, but there are a lot of things going on behind the scenes, in front of the scenes, however you want to see it. One of the things happening right now, Anthony Joshua is still basking in the afterglow of his victory against Vladimir Klitschko, so much so that he has embarked on a 13th Eurocity World Tour. Sorry, U.S. fans, he's not coming over here. But he's doing a multi-city tour all through England and London and Scotland and all sorts of places. It kicked off on May 11th, and it's running through June 16th. For our listeners who are across the pond and want to go, the tickets start at £40, which for us Americans would be like $54. But believe me, those are the cheap seats, and you will be nowhere close to him.
You got to go to his tour. You got to pay to go to his tour, Jay.
You got to buy tickets. It's called An Evening with Anthony Joshua, and it's going to be kind of like a curated discussion. It's going to be hosted by Tony Nelson, who is on Sky Sports, and they'll have conversations, and there's like VIP packages where you can take pictures with Champ. And if you want to go and you're across the pond and you're in one of those cities, or you want to see what cities he's stopping at, you'll have to head on over to AnthonyJoshua.com. I wish I could go. I sure would jump in the selfie with Anthony Joshua.
Listen, the way they are branding him, the way they are building him, it is just perfect. And I wish some more U.S. promoters would put that type of effort and upfront marketing into some of their fighters that have potential to be stars as well. There's a triple header, Jay, that's brewing at the Forum in your backyard in Inglewood on July 15th. This is one that I will probably, most likely, I'm going to say most definitely come to LA for. Sullivan Barrera versus Joe Smith have agreed to fight. Now, nothing is set in stone, but they have agreed to fight. HBO has put that date to the side for that fight. I love it. I think it's going to be a fun fight. And they're also saying Miguel Perchlet versus Mura is going to be the co-feature. I don't know who the third fight is going to be. I'm going to actually just really stay tuned to Steve Kim because he's the one that's been putting out these little bits and pieces about this July 15th card. That's a good card, Jay, right in your backyard. That's fun.
Heck yeah. That's a big slug fest. There'll probably be blood. It'll be lit and well attended and hype crowd. You'll come out. That sounds like a good time to me.
Yes. It came out this week that Canelo and GGG, there's an immediate rematch clause for Canelo, but not for Golovkin. I don't think we're surprised by that. But furthermore, Magic Johnson has offered Dodger Stadium as a venue to host Canelo Golovkin. I don't really see that happening. Nobody has Vegas money the way Vegas rolls. Golden Boy does have a meeting this week with Jerry Jones in Dallas. Jerry Jones is really hoping to be considered. He has not made an official bid yet, but Dallas Cowboys Stadium, they are also interested. And San Diego, the Petco Stadium, has also inquired about hosting this fight. Yeah, I think we all know where we're going.
Right. Don't nobody want to go to San Diego for a fight. That's cute that they offered, and San Diego is real nice, but come on, give me a break.
Well, you know, I would love for it to go to Cowboys Stadium. The stadium holds like 100,000 people. I think they could get 100,000 people there. But when you're talking about putting in bids and putting in offers, I don't know anybody that has more money than Las Vegas.
Right. But Vegas is not letting that fight get away. Get out of
point.
Here. Yeah. So back to the T-Mobile with us, and it is what it is.
It was announced last week that Ray Beltran versus Jonathan Marcelo is for the World Lightweight Title Eliminator. That will open the Crawford Diaz card this Saturday on HBO.
Good for Ray Beltran.
We'll
He's finally getting his opportunity. That's pretty great for him. I felt so sorry for him that time he fought in Vegas, and he had his title opportunity, and he lost it on the scale. He won the fight, but he couldn't make the weight at the scale, so he didn't get the title. So kudos to Ray Beltran. All right, y'all. Now, you know I got a lot to say about this because I'm a low-key troll, but I just got to let him have it. Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. My. After that disgusting display in the ring against Canelo, no kudos to Canelo for doing exactly what he needed to do. Julio Cesar Chavez decided he wanted to turn up after the fight. As we know, I'm sure you've seen the video. And for those of you who missed it, during his little turn up with these 3 chicks in his room and his friends who ain't shit because they were recording it, and what happens in Vegas is supposed to stay in Vegas. He need new friends. I'll go kick it with him. I'm sure he's probably turned. But his friends were recording this thing and then told him they weren't recording, let these 3 chicks go to town on him. And in the aftermath, he gets robbed of his $40,000 watch, his check. Why are you walking around with your check in your pocket? And some money. And the video is just ridiculous. So what's even more interesting, was his wife that says he was robbed by these ladies in the room that were showing off their assets to his supposed friend's camera. So Julio Cesar Chavez, my God.
Well, the video... That video, that's circulating everywhere. Somebody interviewed his wife, like, the next day, who, if I were his wife, I'd be mortified. But she said, he was robbed by some ladies who just came into his room and showed their asses. And I'm like, girl, they were invited. There was a camera. They were, like, no, they didn't just show up and drop their, like, you got to watch the video.
These chicks were hired. I know some professionals when I see them. These chicks were on come on now. Even if they weren't, first of all, maybe he should have hired some professionals. You are in Vegas. They are abundant. You are rich. I can think offhand right now of a few people you could call to get the plug. I'm not going to air people out, but I know people who like to procure escorts when they're in Vegas. If you just won all, 3-5, what did he get for the Canelo fight? He had enough money to get some hoes, bottom line.
Yeah.
And what ended up happening, they got him for a $40,000 watch. Man, I just want to roll it. I want a Rollie too, but I'm not going to jack somebody for it. But he want a Rollie too because he doesn't have his anymore. But Chavez Jr., I'm so disappointed. But enough about him. He's had his moment. Moving on. Juan Manuel Marquez. No, he's not retired, y'all. He's still out there. He's planning a comeback with 2 dates on hold, possibly in July 22nd or July 29th. He is 43 years old. But the thing is, whatever this fight, wherever it lands, this will be his final fight. There are talks reportedly that he wants to do the fight down in Mexico. It's still possible he could face off against Cotto. He wants to fight at 147 pounds. So there is a possibility of seeing Marquez one final time sometime this July, but nothing is in stone yet. But Juan Manuel Marquez, boy, he's getting up there, but he's ready to make his way away from the ring. Wow, man, I'm getting old, man. People like Marquez and Pacquiao are on the verge of retirement. That's how I know I'm getting old. And moving on, speaking of Miguel Cotto is also in some In.Case.You.Missed.It news. His planned fight against Yoshihiro Kamagai has been pushed back to possibly July. He's already back in camp. He's resumed camp here in Los Angeles with Freddie Roach, but the fight has been pushed back. If this fight does happen, this will be his last fight under the Rock Nation banner. So could he do this Kamagai fight? Could he say no? Could he do a money grab and do the fight with Marquez? I'm just waiting until the fight is done because we know Cotto likes to air out promoters when he's finished his contract obligation. So I just want to see what Cotto is going to say once the fight is done. This is his last fight with Rock Nation. I never really saw anything get off the ground with his co-promotional thing he was doing with them. Was supposed to be doing fights on the island. I don't know how that really went. Maybe if the island is listening, they could call in and tell us. But we know Cotto going to be lit when his contract is done. Call us, Miguel Cotto.
Man.
Call us. So we'll see what happens.
Man. Talking about comebacks, Charles Martin, Al Haymon's heavyweight, made his comeback in Mississippi, and he won by TKO. He was sporting Kronk gear and all, Jay. That flew totally under the radar. I had no idea he had a fight lined up. He said nothing about it. His Instagram was still ratchet as I don't know what. I mean, I had no idea he even had a fight. So welcome back, Charles Martin. He's on the comeback. You got some stuff on Wilder, right? Talking about another heavyweight.
Yeah, keeping with the heavyweights. Heavyweights are trying to make moves behind the scenes. This is going to get very interesting, listeners. So Wilder has been pretty vocal. He went over to England for the Joshua Klitschko fight, and he's been, after kind of panning Joseph Parker, now he's back on the Joseph Parker train, saying that he would like to do a unification bout by the end of the summer. And he said that to Tuscaloosa News in his hometown, and he said that to pretty much anybody who's around that he's been doing interviews with, that he's desirous of this fight with Joseph Parker to unify the titles. According to reports, there's a video floating around done with IFL TV. Shout out to Coogan, who's talking to Eddie Hearn, Eddie Hearn says he wants to do a fight with Joseph Parker and his guy, Dylan White, sometime this summer, maybe sometime in September. So we'll just have to see who has the bigger war chest. Is Al Haymon going to get the fight? Or is Eddie Hearn going to get the fight? And we know Eddie Hearn got that cash right now. So it's a race to see who's going to get Joseph Parker first. And what's interesting about that, Anthony Joshua could get a fight. Dylan White could get the fight with Joseph Parker, get the title, fight Anthony Joshua again, and then Wilder could be left out in the cold until next year. Until end of next year at best, if they want to sit on the titles like that. So the heavyweights will be real interesting to keep an eye on.
Man, so weird what's been happening with Deontay Wilder. Anyway, Thomas Delorme last week did an interview where he said, he's not making any money being signed to Mayweather Promotions or with TMT. He is broke, and he's now driving for Uber, which, I love a blue-collar fighter, a fighter who, is training and working. But the problem is when you go on record and when you say things nationally that have anything to do with Floyd Mayweather, his money, and his team, you will most likely get blackballed, put on ice, on the bench. I don't think that's the problem with Delorme opening up and saying that he's broke with TMT. There was a fight made, Billy Joe Saunders versus Kurt Zazide. Did I say that right, Jed? Kurt Zazide?
Yes, sure did.
It's set for July 8th in the UK. That's a really good fight, and I think Kurt Zazide could pull that off.
Man, I like that fight. That Kurtzside boy is a bad, bad boy. Doesn't he train in Philly? Isn't he one of those little low-key Philly guys?
I think so. Was that him? Is that little Tyson? I think so. But listen, before Bomac calls in, I want to drop the word on the curb. Usually we wait until a little later in the show, but we're going to drop it right now before Bomac calls in. You good with that, Jay?
I sure am. See, I got your music waiting.
All right.
We got you.
So the word on the curb and around the water cooler is that they want to make Terence Crawford versus Adrian Broner before the year is over. This year. Top Rank knows that they got to get Broner while they can. You never know when Broner is going to lose against an average fighter, when he's going to rise to the occasion. You just don't know. There is no telling with him. So they kind of want to get that fight done this year. Broner is due to come back this summer. Nobody knows who the hell he's going to fight. It has to be a safe fight so it does not ruin his chances of getting the big matchup with Broner and making a big payday. That is the word on the curb. Right. Man. We've been wanting that fight for like 3 years.
No doubt. Broner better get his life together.
More word on the curb is that they are still actually raising funds for the World Boxing Super Series. That is our hot topic this week, so we're going to jump into that a little more later, but I'm told that they still don't have all the money for that tournament yet. They're still raising the money. Also, word on the curb is they are trying to make a fight for this summer between Tony Harrison and Julian Williams for a title shot.
Ooh.
Right. That's a nice little banger. And
yes, it is.
Word on the curb, Mikey Garcia. We were just asking about him a week or two ago. Where's he at? What's he doing? Well, he is tentatively scheduled to return on July 22nd, most likely at the Sub Hub in California.
Oh, I like that. You know, L.A. loves Mikey Garcia, so that's a good look for him. Will he be fighting on the Ring Star banner?
Yes. And Jay, why don't you give us the last bit of word on the curb on Jamel Herring? Why get Bomac?
Yeah, we have a little bit of word on the curb regarding Jamel Herring. So the word that we're hearing is he could be back in the ring possibly against, are you ready? He could be back in the ring against Jose Pedraza, or he could be back in the ring against Javier Fortuna, who will be moving up in weight. So there's some talk floating around that he could be back in the ring. That'd be a great look for Jamel Herring with either opponent. He needs a guy. He's hungry. He's willing. He's able. A better matchup for him might be against Fortuna since he's moving up in weight, but we'll keep an eye on Jamel Herring and see if he's got a fight going on out there. So for you Herring fans, be on the lookout. He needs a fight. He wants a fight, so he could potentially step in the ring against Javier Fortuna or Jose Pedraza. So you
wow, that's great. Yeah, you know, Jay, I don't mean to toot our own horns, but we had Jamel Herring on a couple weeks ago, and we said, wow, Pedraza fight would be so good for you. Like, we have so many people that listen to the show, and then next thing you know, it's like that's kind of being worked on and talked about. And so, you know, don't tell us that we don't influence certain things because we do over here.
We might as well just go on and get these matchmaker licenses and then just make it happen. And we'll just make it happen. So that's the word on the curb for today.
Pedraza fight. All right. Why don't we take a quick commercial break, Jay, and then hopefully we can come back for Hotline Bling with Bomac.
Let's do it.
Any vehicle, any age, any mileage. With Nationwide Auto Warranties, you will stop paying unexpected costly repair bills and let an extended auto warranty pay. Go to nationwideautowarranties.com for an instant email quote or call 1-866-352-4999 for a free no-obligation phone quote. So stop paying and let Nationwide Auto Warranties get you your coverage today. Again, that number is 1-866-352-4999 or visit nationwideautowarranties.com.
We are back.
All righty. While we wait for Bomac, why don't we play some Know It or Blow It, Jay? While we're waiting for him to call, let's go to the phone lines. Press 1 if you'd like to play Know It or Blow It. We have a boxing trivia question that is brought to you from forama.com. If you win, then you win a gift from the store. However, now we have Bomac on the hotline bling blowing us up, so we're going to hold on to that question. We're going to hold out for Know It or Blow It, and we're going to bring on Bomac McIntyre, Terence Crawford's trainer.
And we live, baby.
Good morning, ladies.
Good morning.
Good morning. Ooh, you sound really calm this morning.
Oh, yeah, it's cool. Cool. It's early in the morning.
Nah. Is it 11:30 where you are?
No, it's 10:20.
Oh, it's 10:20. Okay. Listen, when are you guys heading to New York this week? You're still in Colorado wrapping up camp?
Yeah, no, we heading out tonight. We jump on the plane tonight at 8 p.m.
All right. Actually, Top Rank just put out the first full episode of Camp Life. It is a new series that Top Rank is doing with some of their fighters to give them, you know, to give the people some behind the scenes. And how was that experience with, you know, for the first time, cameras being on you guys like 24/7? How was that in your camp?
Well, it was cool, but it actually wasn't the first time because we did some other series with like HBO. But the good thing about doing that, they actually used a camera crew that actually works for me when I do my production. So it was very comfortable. It was very comfortable doing it because you know those guys personally.
Yeah.
That's excellent. So before you head into New York, Bomac, what's the mood around camp? Are you excited? How the fellas doing? We know you guys are working hard because you always do. What's the mindset heading before you head off to the Garden for this time around for Terrence?
You know, actually, the camp is really, everybody's just really calm and confident and in shape. You know, you could see it in the fighter's face and Terence's face. You know, but I did catch Terence. I think it was Friday. When he was shadow boxing. I was watching him. You could see the eagerness in him, and he was like, "Man, I'm ready to go." He excited, you know. And it was cool during camp because he was really, really, really motivated for this fight. You know, because a lot of people, you know, doubt me.
We know very well on this show how you feel about that.
Well, yeah.
So what got him so motivated for Felix Diaz? Because I'll be honest with you, Bomac, Felix Diaz, you know, he's got some good credentials. You know, he went to the Olympics and all that, but you know, it's not like he's how do I want to say, you know, a spectacular guy. What's got Terence so motivated for Felix Diaz?
The writers. It's the writers and the fans.
Ooh.
You know, just those negative fans. You know, say, "Oh, Diaz going whitewash Terence. So Olympic medalist. He got almost the same style as Gamboa. Gamboa was beating him until Crawford caught him. So you know, all that just throws a fuel to the fire that's already lit, and that's good. That's good for, you know, for me as a coach, because you don't gotta push him because he's gonna push himself.
So
when you start seeing that in Bud, oh, sorry, RB. I just want to say, when you start seeing that in Bud about that anxiousness and that motivation from the fans, how do you bring him back in to keep him centered so it doesn't completely distract him and take him completely out of where you need him to be?
Well, I don't have to do it, you know, because he does it himself. You know, he's just a calm fighter, you know, and he kind of calm outside the ring, you know, on certain things, but he knows what he has to do. He knows he's got to be centered in on the fight when it's fight time, and you know, take his time and, you know, watch his guy. But I don't have to do it. He does it himself. You know, it just, you know, he get anxious because, you know, it's getting closer to fight time. You know, of course, anybody get anxious because you know, he wants to show the world. Since y'all doubt me, I'm gonna show y'all what doubt is about. Go out there and handle his business.
Well, it's like his fights keep getting bigger. You're going to the Madison Square Garden. You're in the big room this time, you know, so they keep getting bigger and bigger. So, you know, obviously nerves, I think, tend to get more too. But there was so much hype wanting the Diaz fight by people in the media, the fans. We were actually over here, like, really wanting Granados to get the fight. We really thought that Adrian Granados beat Adrian Broner, and we were kind of hoping you'd get the Granados fight. But everyone else and their mama kind of wanted the Felix Diaz fight. So the fight got moved. The fight is this week, yet nobody in the media is really talking about it now. Why? Where did all the hype go?
Well, I think it personally because when you sit down and then you analyze the fight and you look at the way Terence is, or the way his style is, the way he can adapt to different fighters, and then you just look at Diaz, which he got some good wins on his record. You know, he got the Lamont Peterson controversy loss on his record. So, but when you sit down and look at it, you can just in the person's head, you'd be like, "Oh, Terence will dominate this dude," you know. But it is what it is, though. I can't wait for myself because, I mean, just the little small things we've been working on, just the little niches, you know, in camp just to make him better. I'm ready for the world to see that, man, because, you know, I could sit back and, as a fight fan, I'll sit back and I'll watch fights, and when I look at Terence's fight, I'll watch it as a fan. When I say a fan, I'll look for all the stuff that he does wrong, and I'll be like, okay, this is what I'll do to try to beat him. So I'll take that same attitude back into camp and say, listen, man, this is what we got to improve on, you know. And sometimes you get it, and sometimes you don't. And then sometimes he don't get it. He'll get it in due time. And it's like you be, as a coach, you be like, dang, finally, oh my God, you finally get it, you know. But you know, hey, he'll person. He make mistakes, and sometimes it just don't translate to him as fast as you want it to, and
right.
So you'd be like, okay, all right, well, here we go again. So I can't wait. I personally can't wait to shut all the critics up. I want to shut all the critics up. I want them to say, who's next? Who's next? Mark my words. Mark my words. This is a great segue, because you just said, who's next? What's next? So word on the curb is, I don't know if you heard our word on the curb earlier, but word on the curb is that they want to make Crawford and Broner before the end of the year. Pacquiao, you guys have been wanting that fight for a long time. I think he's on his little world tour right now. But the word on the curb is everyone seems to want to make Crawford Broner by the end of the year. How true or false is that? Well, that's the first time I heard it, So if they make it, they make it. If they don't, they don't. We just kind of concentrate on what's in front of us, and then once we come out the ring, it's just like, who else y'all gonna put in front of us? So all of that doesn't rattle our cage not one bit.
Bomac, I've been enjoying seeing you guys spend some time in camp with Shakur Stevenson. At this point, Bud is still a young guy, and for all intents and purposes, but Shakur is a young gun coming up fighting on the undercard. What's that been like, having him in camp and spending time with the young man and trying to give him a little wisdom?
Well, it was cool because they sparred a couple times, and when you get your little young guys in there, man, with all that speed, man, Jesus Christ, man, goddamn, Lord have mercy. But it's good for Terence, because you can't go out there and just dominate the kid. You got to go out there and use what you can use to help you out, then to help the kid out. So it was good to have him in there, and his coach in there. I think it's Coach T. I think his name is Coach T. It was good to have those guys in there, and to see them get ready to take this ride, the ride that they about to go on, and it's exciting for me to see another young brother, another young black coach, get ready, man, because they don't have the world at their hands.
That's right.
So, hello?
Uh-oh.
Hello?
Yeah, I thought we lost you.
We thought we lost you. We're still
Y'all
here.
sleep over there?
No, are you?
No.
Jesus Christ, because it's like is Arizona at the same time zone as California, or is it a mountain time?
We are.
I think we're on the same
time
now
as Cali. Yesterday, Bomac, you told me you were 3 hours ahead of me, and I said, "Are you sure?" Because I knew you were only 2, but you're the one that's confused on the time.
No, it's what's the name here? It's Central Time. It's Central Time in Omaha. It's 10:38. So it got to be like 8:38 in California.
It is.
Am I wrong?
It is.
Okay, so somebody missing a step.
You are. She just said you told her you were 3 hours ahead.
No, I didn't either. You lucky we're not on a video phone, or your listeners can't see this, because I'll show the text. You're like, what time is it? What time is it there? So, but I'm gonna leave that alone, because this is your show, and I'm gonna let you. You're right. You're always right. So this is your show. So obviously I'm wrong in your eyes, but I'm right in my eyes.
As you know.
All right, listen. I gotta let you plug some of your other fighters before we let you go. Being so that you train Terence Crawford, I know that you are contacted by lots of managers, lots of fighters. They want you to train and I know you're very selective. You're not just going to start training 15 fighters just because. Can you tell us who do you have in your stable in addition to Terence these days?
I got this one kid out of St. Louis, and he's 13-0 right now. His name is what is that kid's name? Kent Cruz, and he actually fought on SoBox last year. Really good kid, Puerto Rican kid, tall tall, fight at 140. Man, if he gives some of these 140s out here in the top 10 a run for their money. You know, he's a young kid, though. He's only 23 years old, you know, but I'm looking to make some noise with him. Also, you got the Olympian Steven Nelson. He should be end up 7-0 after this fight, and then he fight again in July 1st. And then you have I have another kid named Kevin Ventura, and Ventura is like my sleeper because actually Ventura was a runner-up in the Golden Gloves in 2015, and nobody know about it. And he fought Gary Russell, junior or second or third, one of them. He fought him. He fought Bruce, Jerron Enos. He fought Jerron Enos in the finals. So the kid is phenomenal. He got a lot to go because he's only 20 years old. But the kids that I have in my stable, man, it's just like a slow motion. You got to do a slow motion. I don't see rushing no kid, rushing him to hurry up and have 9 fights in 1 year. That's dumb. He ain't going to grow. You know what I'm saying? Right. You got to let the kid sit back and fight, watch his fight. You watch the fight with him, and y'all work on things that when you go back to camp, you go back from camp and work on things that you see that he did wrong in the fight or things that he might need to improve. It ain't gonna come in the first fight or the second fight. It got to come in in the long run, you know, in distance. You know what I'm saying? It'll come to him. So, but you got to let those fighters grow. They got to grow mentally. They got to grow physically. And then they got to grow emotionally. And then they got to have that confidence in themselves to know that they can do that in the ring. So this is the fun part, trying to, manage fighters and train fighters at the same time. And then it's just like kids. It's just like kids. You know what I'm saying? They ain't got this, they need that, or their leg hurt, they want you to hold their leg, they sneezing, you wipe their nose, they need money, they out of money, they don't, you know what I'm saying? They don't make a lot of money, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So if they make $1,000 purse in a month and a half, they ask for something else. Coach, can you they got needs and wants too. So, but that's the fun part. That's the fun part, getting fighters to trust you. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. To trust you. That's the fun part. And I'm gonna put this out there. I'm trying to pattern myself behind the great Emmanuel Stewart. Oh. And you'll see in New York. I'm gonna have most of all of my fighters with me. You know what I'm saying? Because they train right along with Terence too. I'm gonna have one with me because one fight a week later, then two fight 2 weeks later. So, instead of leaving them home where another coach can get them in a bad habit, you might as well bring them with you.
Wow.
Well, Bomac,
the great Emmanuel Stewart.
Bomac, let me say this to you. And I think that's wonderful.
Can you work for? I just got one thing to say. Can you start calling me Emmanuel now?
No.
I'm gonna call you. I'm gonna call you Featherbone.
All right, go ahead.
That's what I'm gonna call you. But let me say this to you, Bomac. We love talking to you. We know we appreciate and respect your skills as a trainer. We think you're excellent. Terence obviously is elite and a class above a lot of fighters. Since you were bringing your young guys with you, let them talk a little bit to the media so we know who they are.
I will.
No
problem. You get a mic in some of their faces. You be like, God, what's this little kid? Shut the fuck up.
Oh yeah, don't have them going buck wild, but let them talk a little bit so we can see who they are. Give them the Rod Tidwell, and so people can put a name and a face. So when they get to that level, we're like, okay, we know that kid. That's Bomac's kid. So we want to hear from these kids.
And talking to the media, when do you think Terence is going to open back up and start talking to more media? It's kind of like he's shut down again.
Probably around fight time. Probably around fight time.
Okay.
When it's required.
Oh.
See, y'all should get out there. Y'all should get out to New York early because they got a list of stuff that he must do
like Times Square, meet and greet, signing. Terrence don't really care for that stuff. He just wanted to go to the gym, go back to his room, study film, talk to us, play dominoes, and then he'll go out and walk around, get something to eat or something like that. But, but the stuff that he's required to do, it's like holding your breath. It's like holding your breath, walking, swimming or something like this. It's going to be over pretty soon. It's going to be over pretty soon. So that's where media comes in and do those interviews. That's where y'all should be at.
I know.
No.
But see, here's the thing, Bomac. He's a likable guy, and we're not saying that he has to be out there whoring himself for the media, but a little bit more insight to the man, and then people won't conjure up these fake stories about him and say these bad things. Just a little glimpse into the man. We know he's a fun guy and has a great sense of humor. I've been clowned by him a few times, and he's really a funny guy. So just a little bit, just a little sprinkling of media for the man. Pick a few.
Okay,
Pick a few that you like and let them say what's up. All right. Well, that sounds cool. Well, Bomac, it is a pleasure. We love speaking to you. Best of luck this week in New York. Remember, folks, Terence Crawford will be taking on Felix Diaz on HBO Boxing After Dark, WBO, WBC, Junior Weather.
No, it's World Championship Boxing. World Championship Boxing. There's no boxing after dark.
Call it dark. Okay, cool. Terence Crawford. I'm gonna rewind it back. Remember this weekend on HBO, Terence Crawford versus Felix Diaz, HBO Championship Boxing. Watch
World
the Pride
Championship
of
Boxing.
Look.
Let me do it.
Okay, you do
it.
Let me do it. Sell it for it. And do it good too.
Ladies, fight fans, don't forget this weekend coming up, this Saturday in New York, Madison Square Garden, HBO and Top Rank presents World Championship Boxing. Terence Crawford versus Felix Diaz. On the undercard, we have Roberto Beltran.
See, you messing up.
And the undercard, we got Steven Nelson also from Omaha. So, we come and watch.
All right. Well, that sounds good to me.
Bomac, I will see you in New York this Friday. It is always a pleasure having you on the show. Best of luck this weekend. We will chop it up.
Jay, you coming out?
No,
Friday.
I'll be holding it down in the hood. I'll be on Twitter seeing what's good.
We need more sponsors to get us both out to fights like this. We need more sponsors.
I'm poor. Bomac, you didn't even tell me happy birthday.
I did tell you happy birthday. I text you. You didn't get the text?
Nah, sir. Nah.
All right. Well, you'll get it.
Happy birthday and Mother's Day on the same day, but I'll collect it later.
Yeah.
Send me my check.
Oh. Happy birthday! Hey, I never got my gift.
Oh, that's right.
It got stolen off your porch. Times is hard. People be stealing packages off porches. That's probably what happened to it.
Well, see, I live in a gated community. Okay.
All right.
Bye, ladies.
Okay, Bye. Take care.
Bye.
Because the right gift can speak volumes. For home, for fragrance, for great body products, think for Alma.com, offering you the finest products for any and every occasion you can imagine. Say you care the right way and search through our catalog of more than 800 products, from tasteful jewelry to great leather goods. So remember, when you think gifts for any occasion, think for Alma.com.
Because nothing says Bomac like foralma.com. Shout out to our sponsor, foralma.com.
Yes. Listen, our hot topic today, the World Boxing Super Series. And we are going to bring on Jake to get Jake's take on this tournament. The divisions were announced last week, the weight classes, when it's going to kick off. So we want to give you the details. We want to bring you some updates. So if Jake Donovan's on, Jay, why don't we bring on Jake?
You're rocking with the Morning Punching Show with RB and Jae, and now it's time for Jake's Take.
What's up, Jake Donovan?
Good morning, Jay. Happy birthday. Happy Mother's Day.
Thank you.
I left your gift on your porch, but, people snatching them up. So I'm sorry. I'll try again next year.
Well, I live in Inglewood, so I understand.
It's rough, man. Times are hard in Inglewood.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
Good morning, RB. How are you?
Good morning. Good morning. So we were just saying our hot topic this week is the World Boxing Super Series. It was announced that the two weight classes featured will be cruiserweight and the super middleweight division in the very first season, and enrollment actually starts today.
Today, yep.
So, yes, enrollment starts today. So if a boxer wants to be put in the selection process, they have to fill out this application and submit it to enrollment at worldboxingsuperseries.com. Jake, how serious are we taking this, and what do you feel about the two divisions that were announced?
I'm going to start with the latter question. I'm actually very disappointed that the super middleweight division was selected. I feel like super middleweight division has been featured in way too many tournaments. I mean, they did it with the Super 6, and that dragged on for years. It actually told you what not to do in a tournament. I feel like they've tried so hard with that division, but they're just not going to create any more superstars than already is the case. I feel like if they went with 154 at junior middleweight, I mean, Al Heyman could have dumped off all the guys that he seemed to can't get fights these days. So they could have gone there. Lightweight, I really would have liked because, if Richard Schaefer is serious about staying in the Mikey Garcia business, I mean, this would have been the perfect tournament for him to shine and put a lot of money in his pocket at the same time and make him a worldwide superstar. I don't know. I just don't see it with super middleweight. The thing with the two divisions, cruiserweight always seems to be on board. This seems like it's going to be a very Euro-centric tournament. There's going to be a lot of fights that are going to take place in Europe because there's going to be a lot of fighters that are from Europe and Russia. And the European Asian border, wherever these guys are coming from, there's not going to be a lot of guys from the United States. So I don't know how much interest it's going to generate over here. It's going to, the hardcore fight fans are going to be into it, but it doesn't seem to be the idea behind hundreds of millions of dollars invested into this tournament. I'm not a big fan of it. Maybe I'll be a bigger fan once I see the fighters that are involved, but the buzz I'm getting as well is, as long as the people that are in charge of the tournament, a lot of promoters aren't really willing to give up their fighters. So if the fighters are going to the promoters and saying, I want to be in this tournament, they're going to have a tough decision to make, because then the promoters are going to say, well, I have this, for you instead. But if they don't have a fight in place and these guys want to participate, they're going to have to put them in the hands of the Sauerland brothers and Richard Schaefer.
Right. Let me get back to, Jake, when you just talked about, the money going into this tournament. Word on the curb is that not all the money has yet been raised for this thing, that there's still some efforts to gather up some more money for the tournament. Is that true, false? I mean, that was the word on the curb we got.
That's what I understand. It seems like the money, that was like the intention of it, and that's kind of like, the carrot to lure you in. But I'm sure they'll find a way to come up with the money. Richard Schaefer has never really had that problem in his years, although, he might have to take it from a different bank account these days. But I'm just going to leave that one right there. But but I mean, I don't think the money is so much a concern. I think something like that. It's not like they need the money in the bank, May 15th in order to proceed with this tournament. I think they know where the money is going to come from. But to me, the real problem, I just don't want to see this become a very expensive Boxino tournament. I feel like that's what's going to become the case. Like Bob Arum doesn't want to give up, Gilberto Ramirez, for example, who's one of the best super middleweights in the world. Maybe the best. Right. Who knows? Maybe Chunky DeGale gets involved, but I don't. He's got Al Heyman behind him. He's still got a good relationship with Eddie Hearn, I think. It seems like he can get fights outside this without locking himself in for the next year and a half. It's just. I would have been more excited if they announced this tournament and said, hey, here's the 8 superstars we have that are going to be fighting for the next year and a half. If you told me that, Chunky DeGale and Badou Jack and Gilberto Ramirez and, even Julio Cesar Chavez Jr., say those 4 names. So, 4 of the 8 that are in the tournament, I'd be excited right away. But right now we still have an empty bracket. It's like we're kind of waiting for the divisional tournaments to finish before the March Madness begins.
The press release stated that the tournament will kick off in September, and the semifinals will be held in early 2018, and that enrollment will commence where all WBA, WBC, WBO, and IBF champions, as well as top 15 world ranks, can apply. So, okay, that sounds great, but what we did collectively between me, Jake, and Jay is we reached out to a bunch of people in the industry that we know, whether they're promoters, matchmakers, publicists. We reached out to a bunch of people in the industry, and we kind of asked these people, would you let your fighters fight in this tournament? if you have signed fighters, are they going to be allowed to apply? And Jake, most of the people we reached out to pretty much said no.
Yeah, the only one that's getting a yes from, and nobody obviously wanted to say it on the record yet because they don't want to, put their guy out there. But it's going to be, kind of like the ESPN2 Friday night fight level fighters. And that's why I go back to, the Boxino tournaments that we watched. They were exciting, but it was guys that, weren't quite contenders who had to go through that tournament in order to be taken seriously. Like Willie Monroe, for example. He ran through the tournament and he ended up fighting Gennady Golovkin. So, it's going to be guys like that are really going to have to, earn their place in order to get anyone's respect. And those aren't guys that are going to generate any interest right off the bat. It's not going to be like the Super 6 where you had 6 of the best super middleweights in the world.
Yeah.
That were announced and everyone was excited in the beginning. They were, drained by the end, but at least, there was a lot of interest going into the tournament. Right now, like I said, it's just a great idea. But we need more than that. Granted, it's early. Maybe we'll start hearing some names, now that the enrollment period has begun. But, if promoters are going to say yes, they're not going to give up their best fighter for this tournament. They're going to give up guys that they really, they promote them, but they don't have to worry about getting them any fights. Kind of like how Amir Khan got, Canelo Alvarez last year, Heyman said, hell yeah, go fight him. We ain't got to go get you a fight now. We'll collect some money off your check. And, you go do what you got to do.
Out of everyone that I reached out to, there was just one that said, you know what, if it makes sense and there's nothing else out there, perhaps. Perhaps. So here's the hesitation with some of the other people that we reached out to. And again, this was all off the record. We're not quoting anyone, so we threw everything in a bucket here. And here are some of the concerns and hesitations are, okay, what do we get out of this besides money? A trophy?
Right.
I mean, then what? So if our guy wins this tournament, then what?
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. And then, I like to have the name of it, the Muhammad Ali Trophy. Let's say it's the greatest prize in the world. I mean, it's a brand new trophy. It's named after one of the greatest fighters in boxing history. But right now, it's just a trophy. It's something else to go up on your mantle. It's not going to get you another fight down the road. So I agree with that thought process. I could think of some promoters who I've spoken to, who I don't know if they were quite willing to give me their full answer. Again, I think they will end up, giving some fighters, but, for example, main events. If Sergey Kovalev decided he wanted to fight at 168 or 200, he's not going to enter this tournament. He's got a world of options, but maybe someone like Sullivan Barrera, would enter the tournament. I'm saying if there was a light heavyweight division. So I got a feeling these are the guys we're going to be getting outside of, whatever guys, Schaefer scoops up and, I'm pretty sure we're going to see Arthur Abraham in this tournament. So, he flunked out of the Super 6, but, here he is still alive and kicking in the super middleweight division. He's a Saraland fighter since he turned pro. It's very possible he winds up in the tournament. I mean, does that get you excited? No. Doesn't get me excited.
Not at all.
And I think the other hesitation, the elephant in the room here is, it is Richard Schaefer. And so I had some people in the industry who may not even work with Golden Boy say, if you were with Golden Boy, would you trust your fighters going into this tournament? If you were Oscar De La Hoya, and not that Oscar's a saint, but would if you were him, would you let your fighters enter this tournament?
Yeah, exactly. And even if you were someone who respected Golden Boy Promotions, even if you're not Oscar De La Hoya, like if someone who, feels for what Oscar went through during that whole thing, watching his company implode, you're going to think, what's to stop this guy from doing the same thing to me? Like I've been saying, Richard Schaefer, he has a lot of respect to earn. The media likes him because he returns their phone calls and he always gives cordial answers and, he never turns down an interview. Right. And that's all fine and dandy. But, you still got to deliver in the industry. And, he really hasn't. He's taken a lot of credit for what happened in the past with Golden Boy. But Golden Boy seems to be doing pretty fine without him. And, in the aftermath, they rebuilt. They became one of the best promoters in 2015. Everyone fell off last year. But, here they are right back in the mix. They still got the biggest star at least in North America right now. So, Richard Schaefer doesn't. He has, guys that he's kind of linked to. But, it's...
Yeah.
Jake, when RB first started posing this question, this was the first thing that I thought of the Chappelle sketch with the R. Kelly video with him peeing on people. And I thought about this, and I thought the only way I would let my fighter participate in this tournament, first after my lawyer reviews the contract, I want Richard Schaefer, his lawyer, and my lawyer all on camera with 2 forms of ID saying, I will not sign your fighter once the fight is done, and I won't have any future options on them. That's the only way I let my guy participate. You wake up in the morning, you don't have no fighters.
Yeah, otherwise it's going to be guys that promoters are going to be willing to go give up. It's got guys that are not necessarily interested in promote. I mean, yeah, maybe they want to promote them a little more if they win this tournament, but that's a long way to wait out. In the meantime, it's guys that you've invested in whose careers really haven't gone a lot of places, and you've spent a lot of money without any return. So, I'll be more excited about this tournament in a month once everyone's enrolled, and they're supposed to be selecting media members and managers and promoters. There's supposed to be a lot of input. It's not just going to be Nissim Kylie Saraland and Richard Schaefer making up this tournament. There's supposed to be a lot of hands in this. So, maybe in a month we'll have a better idea of, where this tournament is going. But right now it's still just a great concept.
All right. So, look, I want to get back to Canelo Chavez. I want to get an update from you. I need you to talk to us really slow about this. The pay-per-view numbers, where are they coming in at?
Okay. From the research that I do, there's a lot of different people, they claim they have sources. I will tell you, there's some writers, when they say they have a source and they give this elaborate number, that source is the promoter telling them that's the number. So if Oscar De La Hoya tells you, hey, this is already tracking to $1 million, Oscar De La Hoya is not a source. He is a promoter that is hoping that his pay-per-view sold really well. From the data that I've received, from the people who, spend their lifetime tracking this stuff, I'm looking at 925,000 buys for, I think it was roughly around $61 million in pay-per-view revenue. It could be, they said that there is potential that it tracks to where it actually tops Canelo Cotto, which I think was around 938,000. And that's the thing. When Mark Taffet went on record with that number in November 2015, he actually announced 900,000. And in the months that passed, it actually bumped up to 930, and now I think it's up to 938 and 939,000. So in due time, this fight could wind up somewhere around 950,000 pay-per-view buys. I'm going to say my prediction going in was 550, so it far surpassed my expectations. And, major shout-out to Golden Boy. I mean, a year ago, they had Canelo headline the very first event in the T-Mobile Arena. That is a big event in and of itself. Everyone was saying this fight with Julio Cesar Chavez was a money grab. Maybe it was, but a lot of people were interested. And, they turned it into a huge event. They ran with the torch every step of the way. I mean, Zanfer, I didn't really see them very involved in the promotion other than, delivering Julio. This is all Golden Boy. You really got to give it up to them. They turned this into a massive event. It had a great vibe, all the way through. Everyone I know that attended it, they said they had a really good time at the event, not necessarily with the main event, but just all through Fight Week. It felt like a festive boxing event. They really went all in for this, reclaiming Cinco de Mayo. So, again, I can't praise Golden Boy enough for the effort they did and, for just raising that much interest.
Good for them. That's some big, big numbers. Jake, I do have one question, though. I don't know if you know the answer to this. Oh, sure.
I'm sorry. Can I just touch on one thing with the pay-per-view number? To put it in perspective, it actually doubles every pay-per-view that happened in 2016. So we're talking about how boxing is back. Now we can finally say boxing is finally getting back to where it was in 2015. I mean, that's how big this event was. So now when Canelo fights Golovkin in September and people start throwing out ridiculous numbers, guess what? It may very well hit it.
Okay, I have two questions for you, actually.
Yes.
While we're still on the subject of Canelo Chavez Jr. Fight Week and the atmosphere, where's the belt at? I have tweeted the WBC and told them that I would be willing to keep the belt at my house if they needed me to, and they favorited my tweet. So WBC, the offer still stands. You can bring it back to Inglewood. I'll get a nice shadow box for it and everything. What's up with the belt?
Yeah,
Canelo doesn't
I'm not quite sure what happened to that belt. I think Lance Pugmire might have claimed that belt. Kevin Iole had his eye on it. So, those two pretty prominent writers. So
that's a nice belt. That is a nice.
Yeah, it is. It's a very nice belt. Yeah, I mean, we know Canelo doesn't want it. Yeah, I mean, Canelo could have just, grabbed it and given it to the people and let them do what they want with it. They could have thrown it in the dumpster for him. That could have been another big event in Mexico.
Oh, Lord. Don't start no mess, Jake. And then I have another question. Can we get a Canelo Zabala update from you?
Yes, absolutely we can. Canelo managed to file this is like the double secret probation of all final appeals. He drained out all his appeals, but in order to not have to pay Tuto his $8.5 million, he filed one last appeal. But the catch is that he had to come up with the amount that was actually owed to Tuto Zabala. So that was the issue. So he filed the appeal, but they said, where's the money? Until we see the money, you still owe him the money. That's why they sent out, all those warrants and, putting a lien on his purse and all that. He actually came up with the money, I think it was the Wednesday before the fight. So that is now back in court. Now, here's the catch. If they don't approve, that money is basically held in escrow right now. If Canelo doesn't win this appeal, that $8.5 million now shifts over to Tuto Zabala, and it stays in Miami. If he wins his appeal, he gets the money back, and it's a big blow to Tuto.
Wow.
But that's the latest on that. This is the absolute. To my understanding, this is the absolute fine. He has exhausted all appeals. After this one.
Yeah, I don't blame him. $8 million is not a little bit of money, plus the legal fees and all the other maneuvering.
Yeah, I think, I don't know if they got scared or whatever. Tuto's lawyers, they said that Canelo was hiding his money, with Golden Boy with HBO, and that's why all those people, they all got subpoenaed. So I guess, they found out, whatever rock the money was buried under, and handed it over to the Miami court, to the Dade County courts.
All right. Well, Jake Donavon, it is always a pleasure. Jake's Take. Hey, I didn't have to give you the gunshots today. Before we wrap you up, let's remind the listeners where they can find your 747 articles that you're going to write before 5 o'clock today, and they can keep up with
And now you jinxed me, because you said that last week, and I actually haven't written an article since then. I've just been so buried at work. But I will be back on the grind today, I promise, and it's fightnights.com, and then catch me on Twitter at Jake in the Box.
All right.
All right.
Jakey, we'll talk to you soon, and have a wonderful, wonderful day.
Yes, ma'am. Once again, happy
For all the
birthday.
latest news, interviews, and boxing schedules, visit BoxingInsider.com, providing readers with everything from the latest fight schedules to interviews with your favorite boxers. BoxingInsider.com has you covered from top to bottom. BoxingInsider.com is looking for new writers. Think you have what it takes to join the team? Submit your articles to our team at info@BoxingInsider.com. Visit BoxingInsider.com today, the only boxing website where you become the fifth man in the corner.
My bad, Jake.
He was like, bam, cut Jake off.
He's like, happy birthday, Boxing Insider. My bad, Jake. We got nothing but love for you.
We want to play some Know It or Blow It. Know It or Blow It is a boxing trivia game that we play. We ask you a boxing question, and we give you 10 seconds on the clock. And if you win a free gift from 4ama.com. Press 1 if you'd like to play Know It or Blow It. Dare to be great. While we wait for someone to dare to be great, shout out to Eddie Gomez, who is listening to the show and wilding out with me this morning. Shout out to him. Congrats on your last win. Looking forward to seeing you this weekend in New York. We're definitely going to catch up, kid. Anybody willing to play Know It or Blow It?
Right now, I see some people in the queue. I see the 504 to 916. I see the 213 and the 206 and the 714. You got to press 1 if you want to play Know It or Blow It. You got to press 1, or I'm going to start picking you up randomly. While we're waiting for some folks to call in, maybe I'll run in through the weekend fight schedule, and we'll see what we can do. So while we are waiting for a Brave Soul to play Know It or Blow It, here's the weekend fight schedule. It is a busy, busy week. After, finally coming down off of the glow of the big Canelo Chavez weekend, here's what we got going. From Tucson, Arizona on ESPN2 for the latest edition of Golden Boy on ESPN, Diego De La Hoya headlines against Eric Ruiz for 10 rounds in the junior featherweight division, and Demetrius Ballard versus Dennis Dolan in the co-main event. Also happening on the same day, which is the 19th, Heather Hardy will be headlining in New York against Edina Kiss, and Charles Conwell versus Daniel Soros in the co-main event. Of course, on Saturday night from New York, Terence Crawford versus Felix Diaz on HBO's World Championship Boxing. Saturday night on HBO. Get it right. I don't want to get checked again. In the co-feature event, Raymundo Beltran, Ray Beltran to his friends, versus Jonathan Maiciello in an IBF lightweight eliminator, and Shakur Stevenson versus Carlo Suarez. So the young gun is making his way up the ladder, getting back in the ring again on the undercard of Crawford Diaz. Good fight for him to be in the big room at Madison Square Garden. Also on Saturday, on Showtime, Gary Russell Jr. versus Oscar Escandón for Russell's WBC featherweight title. Jose Uzcategui versus Andre Durrell for the vacant IBF interim super middleweight title. Also on the card, Ramses Barthélemy versus Kirill Relik for the WBA junior welterweight eliminator, and all the other Gary Russell Jr., Ray Parker Jr., Sammy Davis Jr., they're all fighting on the undercard on Showtime.
The Barthélemy Relic fight is probably the best fight on that card. That's going to be a good fight. Sorry.
Ooh. Oh, that's all right. Get ready. Get your popcorn ready. Get your wings ready. It's a full week of boxing. Also happening from London, Gervonta Davis, the fourth co-host of the Morning Pension Show, will be taking on Liam Welsh for the IBF Junior Lightweight title from London. Gervonta Davis is in London, arriving in London today in the UK, and he's given himself a little time to get situated to the time change. Very, very wise. So hopefully Errol Spence Jr. will be arriving today as well, so be on the lookout for that. I think there's a press conference happening, if it hasn't happened already today, to announce the Billy Joe Saunders Kurtzside fight. I think that's happening today. I could be wrong. Also happening on Saturday, PBC on Fox Sports 1. David Benavidez versus Rogelio Porky Medina in a WBC super middleweight eliminator. So we've got David Benavidez in a WBC title eliminator, and we've got Andre Durrell in a vacant interim super middleweight title fight. Super middleweight getting to be very, very busy, so we'll have to keep an eye on it. Also happening this weekend, Hassan Ndam is back in the mix, fighting Ryota Murata for the vacant WBA regular middleweight title. And Ganagan Lopez versus Ken Shiro for the WBC junior flyweight title. And Juan Navarrete versus Daigo Higa for the WBC flyweight title. And lastly, from Japan, Kosi Tanaka is fighting Angel Acosta for the WBO junior flyweight title. We mentioned all these fights. All these fights are not broadcast fights, but they are happening. You probably can find streams or something online. They're all title fights, so we're sharing all these fights with you so you can keep an eye on them because it's getting very, very busy. When all the belts start coming out, things are starting to heat up. It's great for the sport. We can get some better fights made, some better matchups, and to close out 2017 and head into 2018 strong. So that is the boxing schedule update for this weekend, RB.
Yeah, and we had a really dead weekend this past weekend in boxing, and now we've got a ton going on this week. And I'll tell you some of the fights that I have my eye on. The event that's going on in Tucson on ESPN, the Demetrius Ballard fight versus Dennis Duglin. Dennis Duglin, he goes by Mama's Boy. His mom trains him. And he took the fight. He took the fight last minute, really with a week notice. And Dennis is always a tough fight. Ballard is one of Golden Boy's top prospects, and Golden Boy is sticking by their word. They are going to make good fights on ESPN too. So I got my eye on that fight. And then obviously in New York, I'm looking forward to the Crawford Diaz fight. Nothing in Maryland really stands out to me except Bartholomew Relic should be okay. And then, our boy Tank, I wish he did get to the UK a little sooner, Jay, to acclimate a little more. Earl Spence gets there today, and his fight is in 2 weeks from now. Gervonta got there today, and his fight is this Saturday. It's tough for a young kid. It's a new environment, different food, different water, different time zone. I just really hope that he can acclimate well this week. We're rooting for Tank over here. So, anybody daring yet to be great? Oh.
No, nobody daring to be great, but I will leave us with this before we close. I'm nosy, and I like to scour Instagram and see things that are a little bit off to me, and this week I have to call out our friend to the neighborhood, and he is a friend to the Morning Punch-In Show, so it's no shade, no tea, but our buddy Deontay the Bronze Bomber Wilder. Now, I found a picture of Wilder going around this weekend, and I'm going to tweet the photo, and RB will retweet it, and he's out with his beautiful lady, and they're out having them a good time, and he's looking pretty fly. And I got a little bit of a closer look at his jacket, and I really hope these are not marijuana leaves on this jacket. I really don't like it. Maybe he borrowed the jacket from Chris Arreola or Chavez Jr. if the guy the weed leaves on him. So you guys tell me what you think of Wilder's jacket. I don't like it. And that's Instagram behaving badly for this week, and that's all I got. Everybody else has been pretty cool.
All right. Well, listen, we are going to sign off here. Today's show is brought to you by NationwideWarranties.com, forAma.com, and TheBoxingInsider.com. We appreciate you for listening today. Big blowout sale today at RaisinBabe.com. Go check it out. Everything is $10 or less, so make sure you cop up. Jay, thank you for always being amazing. And I think that's a wrap for the day. Thanks for joining us.